would you be willing to sacrifice your personal morals and your integrity and lie incessantly just to get a little bit ahead? If so, you'd probably fit right in with the Liberal Party of Canada. What I'm talking about is the nonstop smear campaign that the Liberal Party has been waging against innocent firearms owners and enthusiasts, target shooters, collectors, hunters in Canada. It's been nonstop since Junior Trudeau took over in 2015, and it's only gotten worse as time's gone on. A good part of it has been perpetuated by one of the surviving victims of the 1989 massacre at École Polytechnique de Montreal, where 14 innocent young women just starting their lives were gunned down by a psychotic madman. They were hunted throughout the school and just mowed down like they were animals. An additional, I believe it was an additional 10 were injured women and 4 men were injured. But what it did was it kicked off a lifelong obsession with one of the victims of that shooting. She's been on a non-stop crusade to single-handedly disarm every single Canadian in the country because one psycho nut went to a school and murdered a bunch of people. So now she wants everyone to pay. Now, don't get me wrong, nobody should ever have to experience anything like this in their life. Never. These kinds of things should never happen. There are tragedies that befall people all the time, but if you don't confront them, acknowledge them, address them, you'll never be able to move on with your life. And that's what this woman, this Natalie Provo, she's been obsessed like a dog with a bone with gun control. It's to the point where it's a sickness, right? She's ruining people's lives because she just will not stop. Every time Trudeau would announce some gun control law that was draconian and will do nothing for public safety, instead of applauding it like she should, she would release a statement criticizing it immediately because it didn't go far enough. Oh, you only banned 10,000 guns? Well, there's still 30,000 of them out there. You got to get them all. That was her attitude, right? Nothing's ever good enough. And so he kept ban. Every few months they add more and more to the list that makes less and less sense. And she just will not stop. And the government is taking all of this advice from basically a mad person. In my opinion, this is by no means a diagnosis or anything. I'm saying, in my opinion, from what I've observed, just by the behavior, her actions are not indicative of someone who's fully, who's not functioning on all cylinders properly. Something in her head broke, and it's not been fixed, and it's just getting worse and worse. Now, I say, in my opinion, she's ruined more people's lives in this country than probably, when you add it up, probably all the gun-related violence from that shooting in '89 to today. And I say that because all of this push, these just incessant activism, constantly nattering at the government to ban more and more and more and take more rights away from Canadians, stripped them of their personal property that was legally acquired with their own funds, for no reason other than it's going to satisfy this one crazy lady in Quebec. That's it. That's the only reason why they do any of this, right? Because it isn't going to do one single thing to help people be safer in the streets. Because I know this is controversial, but despite what the government would have you believe, hunters, sport shooters, collectors are not the ones that are shooting up neighborhoods. They never have been. And I don't like to speak in absolutes, but I think I can pretty confidently say they're never going to be those people. Those people that run around shooting up neighborhoods, those are gangbangers. Okay? Plain and simple. Do they have legally acquired firearms? Do they all have their possession and acquisition license? No. Possession and acquisition licenses are licensing system in Canada to own and operate firearms here. So it's essentially two classes: restricted, non-restricted. Restricted is like handguns and what was the AR-15 platforms, that kind of thing. Shorter barreled shotguns, rifles, whatnot. Non-restricted is stuff like your regular long barrel shotguns, hunting rifles, that kind of thing. There is a prohibited class as well, but that's like be coming across in the wild, seeing Sasquatch having sex with a unicorn. It's not really gonna, a leprechaun films at all. That's not something you're gonna see. But you think that these gangbangers all went through the courses? You think they went through the background checks, they did the tests, they did the practical safe firearms handling exam? You think they did all that? You think they did the background checks? You think their names get run through CPIC every 24 hours like a regular gun owner does that has a possession and acquisition license? Do you think that's the case? Do you think that the government calls up their exes for the last 5 years? What do they call it? Conjugal partners. It's what the government calls it. When you want to have a gun license and you want to buy guns, even if you're just a collector, you have to list your conjugal partners for the last 5 years. It might be 2, but I think it made it 5 now. Not wife or ex-wife or girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, or friend with benefit. No, conjugal partners. That's because the government really wants to know what goes on in your bedroom. It's sick, man. It's sick. But, I mean, and if they say, if you left any relationship on bad terms and your ex wants to say something bad about you or be mean to you, they can just say, oh yeah, he used to threaten that one day he was going to get a gun and shoot me. Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. And that's it. They'll come and take everything from you, or they'll strip you of the ability to ever get a license if you're just newly applying for one. And in those situations, you're guilty until, basically you're just guilty. You can try and fight it, but chances are you'll never win. So you may as well just go, oh well, and leave Canada. Because it ain't going to get better. And that's just like the government that's all they want. They want to strip everybody of their right to protect themselves, their right to enjoyment. It's ridiculous. And again, I just reiterate for the millionth time, a licensed gun owner is probably the most law-abiding person that you'll ever meet in your life, because they understand what's on the line. They understand how critical it is to not even go jaywalking, because somehow that's going to come down on you as not being a trustworthy individual, and yoink, there goes your license, and yoink, there goes your collection that you've been building for 15, 20, 30 years. Right? So no gun owner is ever going to risk anything that will put them under the spotlight and put them at risk of losing not only their collection, but no firearms owner, responsible and legal firearms owner, wants to be the one that ruins it for everyone else as well. Like, everyone understands that, geez, if I screw up, if I do something completely stupid and irresponsible and I lose my guns, that's going to be used as ammunition by the far left retards like the current iteration of the Liberal Party of Canada. Far left retards like the Carney, like Trudeau, like Bill Blair, like Natalie Provo, who is so far left that, I don't know, it just, so you're not going to see a licensed responsible gun owner do anything like this. You're not going to see their guns on the street. I'm sick and tired of hearing that. We need to get these assault-style firearms off the street. My guns have never been on the street. My guns will never be on the street, period. And that's the same for every other licensed legal gun owner in Canada. None of their firearms have ever been on the street, nor will they ever be on the street. Again, it's gangbangers. That's your problem. It's illegal firearms coming in over the border from the U.S. That's your problem. Illegal firearms coming in from the Port of Vancouver. That's your problem. Not legal gun owners. And it's going to be, it's so frustrating because they're going to do this. If the Liberals get in, they're going to do this. They're going to strip every Canadian of their firearms, and you're going to watch gun-related crime is still going to go up. And they'll twist themselves into, pretzels, doing all kinds of mental gymnastics, trying to say, well, yes, well, we understand that it looks like gun crimes are going up, but it would be a lot, you know what? It would be a lot worse if we hadn't taken all of those guns away from all the farmers in the prairies. Yep, think about that. Thank God we took away those thousands and thousands of single-shot rifles from everyone across the country, because, boy, could you imagine? You think that guns violence has gone up now? If they had those, my goodness, man. All those rifles chambered in 22 long rifle? I get shivers thinking about how dangerous things would be if those were locked away in people's locked away in people's safes with trigger locks on them. Yeesh. Gives one the shivers. I mean, that's basically what's going to happen. So we're all going to get stripped of our private property that we legally obtained. Nothing's going to change. If anything, gun violence is going to get worse, just like it has ever since idiot Trudeau took over in 2015. It will continue to get worse if the Carney gets in spades, because he ain't going to do squat to keep us safe. Everything is just going to get worse and worse and worse, and they'll still somehow try to blame it on the fact that, well, once there were legal gun owners in Canada, but thank God we stripped them of their guns, because, boy, those gun stats, they're high now, but if legal gun owners, they still had their guns, well, that's what it's going to be.